This is the NBC University Theater, bringing you a full-hour dramatization of the Samuel Butler novel, The Way of All Flesh, starring Tom Conway as Ernest Pontifex. Samuel Butler was a philosopher and essayist of mid-Victorian England. His literary output was large, but among all his works there was only one novel, The Way of All Flesh. Today it remains as his most important work, a brilliant satiric picture of family life and manners of the period. Two, it has the virtue of being a highly interesting story, a story drawn directly from the life of the author. In a moment, then, The Way of All Flesh, as adapted for radio by Frederick Schlick and Clarence A. Ross. But first, a word from the director of the NBC University Theater, Andrew C. Love.
A word of thanks from all of us engaged in the presentation of the NBC University Theater to the Peabody Award Committee, who last Thursday honored this program by citing it as foremost in the field of radio drama during the past year. Our sincere thanks, gentlemen.
Now, The Way of All Flesh, starring Tom Conway as Ernest Pontifex.
My acquaintance with the family of my godson, young Mr. Ernest Pontifex, who is the chief person of my narrative, dates from my earliest days. When I was a child in Palem, my father, the Reverend Overton, used to be fond of saying that old Mr. Pontifex was the finest man he had ever known, but that his son, George, was no fool either. George Pontifex believed with his neighbors that young gentlemen should be well thrashed 2 or 3 times a week, and young ladies kept as ignorant as possible. His youngest son, Theobald, was a complete product of this household. Thus, one hardly knows what answer he expected when in his last year at Cambridge, where he had been reading to become a clergyman, he wrote his father this letter.
My dear father, you have declared, and I heartily thank you, that no one will compel me to be ordained. I know you would not press ordination upon me if my conscience was seriously opposed to it. I have therefore resolved on giving up the idea. Your affectionate son, Theobald Pontifex.
Whatever answer Theobald expected, the one he got was distinguished at least by its promptness.
Dear son Theobald, I have received your letter, and am at a loss to conceive its motive. But I am very clear as to its effect. You shall not receive a single sixpence from me until you come to your senses. Your affectionate father, George Pontifex.
Theobald was thus enabled to interpret this outward shove as the inward call for which he had so earnestly prayed, and was ordained. He shortly provided himself with a mate who was in all things what a wife and a minister's wife should be. And from the year 1834 until the end of their lives, the Reverend and Mrs. Pontifex were established in the rectory at Battersby. And Mrs. Pontifex was established in the conviction that Theobald was always right. On my infrequent visits to the Pontifex household, I was invariably a witness to the tyranny of the Reverend Pontifex over my godson, Ernest.
Pleasant to have you with us, Overton. We'll have the children in presently. I hope you won't be too disappointed at your godson Ernest's progress.
Progress? In what?
Why, everything. He's reading, for one thing.
Reading? He's not 3 years old.
Oh, almost 3. And he can hardly put one Latin word after another.
How can you expect an infant in
Now, these things can be hardly taught too early. Don't you agree?
Well, I would...
Of course not.
Well, come, my dear, let's have them in for the hymns. We give them a special treat on Sunday, Overton. Let them choose their own hymn.
Magnificent.
Ernest? Joey? Papa would like you to come in now.
Yes, Mama.
Ernest, you remember your godpapa, Mr. Overton?
Yes, Mama.
Ernest, Mr. Overton has heard about the happy times we have, singing hymns on Sunday evening. Sing for him.
May I sing the Sunset Tree, Mr. Overton?
Anything you like, my child.
Come, 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 come to the Sunset Tree.
Ernest, don't you think it would be nice if you were to say come instead of come?
I do say come.
Ernest, don't contradict Papa.
Ernest, you say tum. Now say come as Papa does.
Come.
That's better, Ernest.
Now, please, Overton. Ernest, that's no better. You're not taking pains. Now take your time and think and say come.
Come.
Now, please don't laugh, Overton.
Ernest, you must not disobey dear Papa like this.
Now, Ernest, you have one more chance. Either say come properly, or I shall know that you are deliberately naughty.
But I...
Go on.
Done.
Very well, Ernest. I've done my best to save you. Now come here.
Papa. No, Papa. I do say come, Papa.
Oh, Theobald, for the love of heaven. Thus did the upbringing of my godson Ernest begin and continue. One of the more severe experiences of his life began the day that Mr. Pontifex took him to school for the first time, to a painful meeting with the headmaster, one Dr. Skinner.
I tell you in confidence, Mr. Pontifex, no Roughborough boy has failed to make Oxford or Cambridge in 20 years.
Dr. Skinner, Ernest is honored that you've accepted him. Aren't you, Ernest?
Yes. Yes, Papa.
Do you always look so preternaturally grave, boy? Do you never smile? What are you staring at?
Your books, sir. There must be 1 million of them.
More like 5,000, I should think.
And do you know every word of them by heart?
Mr. Pontifex, tell me, how far has this boy of yours advanced through Euclid?
Oh, he has the first 3 books, Doctor.
What? 12 years old and not finished Euclid?
He's somewhat lazy, I must admit. He has his Latin and Greek, though.
Let's see what you have in your head, boy. Tell me, who were the 3 Graces?
The 3 Graces were Aglaia, Euphrosyne, and Thalia.
What's that you said? What was that last?
Thalia.
Thalia, you audacious reptile. You dare say Thalia to me? Me, who never made a false quantity in my life? We'll see if that sort of thing will go at Roughborough.
In Ernest's 2 worlds of home and school, there was no one, really no one at all, whom he could regard with affection and who behaved toward him in a friendly fashion. There was, for a while at Battersby, a kind and smiling young servant girl whom he always looked forward to seeing, but even this bit of happiness did not last. One day, on arriving home for his holiday, Ernest learned a sad piece of news.
Cook, I've been looking for Ellen. Where is she?
Ellen? Mercy, Master Ernest. Don't you know?
Know what?
No. How could you know? And you not half an hour home. Why, Ellen's turned out.
You mean she's gone?
Gone she is. And John's even now driving her to the station. Poor girl got herself into trouble. The mistress couldn't but send her away, but the Lord only knows what she'll do now. Heaven save us, Master Ernest. Wherever be you going?
Be Master Ernest. Come, get thy breath, boy.
Ellen. Ellen, must you really go away? I'll not go far, Master Ernest. There's nothing left for me but the grave. No. Don't say that. Here's a shilling and a 6. Oh, no, Master Ernest, I couldn't. Here's my watch. No, Master. And my knife. That's all I've got. Oh, Master. John, make her take it.
Come, take it, lass.
Take what thou canst get while thou canst get it.
I shall never forget you, Master Ernest. Never. As long as I live.
In the matter of the watch, Ernest's mother suspected something amiss in his story of having lost it, and endeavored to speak to him about it. But she learned nothing, for by that period in his life, Ernest knew better. The mangled bones of too many murdered childhood confessions lay whitening around the skirts of his mother's dress to allow any possibility of his trusting her further. And so the watch was forgotten until Theobald, on one of his infrequent trips to the city, decided to buy Ernest a new one. When he got home...
Ernest, I've sent for you to clear up a little matter for me.
Yes, Papa.
I went into several shops today looking for a new watch for you. Second-hand, of course.
You're very kind, Papa.
Ah, quite so. But you can imagine my surprise when I came across the very watch you told me that you had lost.
Papa, I assure you...
Silence. I learned everything from the shopkeeper. That watch was sold him by that miserable girl Ellen, who swore you had given it to her. Is this true or false?
It's true, Papa.
So I feared. Ernest, I shall have to ponder a really suitable punishment for this appalling misdemeanor. But meanwhile, you will have naturally to pay me back what I gave the shopkeeper for the return of the watch. I shall deduct it from your pocket money. 15 shillings.
Papa!
Surely.
No.
Listen.
Please, Papa. I've got to have my money. I owe it.
Debt? My son in debt? Idleness, falsehood, and now debt. Oh, Lord, let not thy servant's cross be heavier than he can bear. To whom do you owe this money?
Why,
Ernest, answer me.
At school, Papa. There's an old shopkeeper, Mrs. Cross. She sells hot rolls and butter. And we...
We? So I'm not the only father whose son is a disgrace to him. Dr. Skinner shall know of this.
Oh, Papa, you mustn't tell him. Mrs. Cross...
Mrs. Cross's shop shall be closed. And I'm going to present Dr. Skinner with a list of every boy who's had to have this sort of nefarious practice whipped out of him. And you're going to give me that list, Ernest. You may begin.
Let us mercifully pass over the remainder of my godson's school years and come to the end of his stay at Emmanuel College, Cambridge, when he found himself face to face with a problem which, though he did not know it, had once confronted Theobald himself.
Now, Ernest, I trust you're getting along well with your reading for orders?
Well, it seems like a long way off yet, Papa.
Oh, nonsense. It'll be on you before you know it. You certainly know you'll never get a fellowship at Cambridge.
Well, I suppose not.
Of course not. You haven't the industry. And you needn't think that I'll support you.
Oh, of course not, Papa.
Well, then, you'll have £5,000 from your grandfather's legacy. Best thing you can do with it will be to buy a curacy under a very old rector and wait for him to die. And perhaps when you're 30, you shall marry. I think that settles everything.
Yes, Papa, I believe that settles everything. My dear Papa, since my curacy is in one of the poorer neighborhoods of London, and I'm to be working among the poor, I believe I can best serve Christ by going and living among them, to familiarize myself with their habits and their thoughts. I have therefore taken lodgings with the widow of a cabman, a very respectable matron named Mrs. Jupp in Ashpit Place. I trust you will approve this step, which my conscience has bidden me take. Your affectionate son, Ernest Pontifex.
My dearest son Ernest, on the whole, your mother and I feel that the step which you have taken is a commendable one. Your lodgers will at least have the advantage of being free, cheap. Furthermore, we feel that in such a place there can be few or no temptations, and you'll be able to pass your time in reading for the improvement of your mind. I remain your affectionate father, Theobald Pontifex.
Ernest's life in lodgings might have been a happier one had it not been for the counsel of a fellow student named Pryor. As I understand it, Pryor called in upon Ernest one day, and the conversation came quickly to the issue.
Shall I ring for some tea, Pryor?
I think not, Pontifex. That landlady of yours, that Mrs. Jupp, I just as soon not have the old rummy about.
Oh, you mustn't speak of her that way. She is a good old soul. It was kind of you to come.
Well, fellow curates must stick together, mustn't they? I thought you might have called at my room sometime.
Well, frankly, Pryor, your friends, don't you think they're somewhat too inclined to be high church?
Well, it's all very well to quarrel with Rome, Pontifex, but you must admit that Rome has reduced the treatment of the human soul to a science, and our church has done nothing of the sort.
What are we to do, then?
Why, return to the practices of our forefathers, of Rome, if you like. If the priest isn't a healer of men's souls, what is he?
That's just the trouble. I've been wondering of late if I shall manage to heal my own soul, let alone anyone else's.
Ah, so the devil's been whispering to you, has he?
It may be. Can I make you a confession?
Oh, pray do.
There are certain thoughts I've struggled against. I thought I should lose them when I was ordained, but I haven't. And I'm sure they're not holy.
In short, Pontifex, you've been wanting a woman.
Deplorable, isn't it? And I don't know anyone whom I care to marry. Yet the only way out of these thoughts that keep tormenting me, the only way I can see is to get married at once.
Oh, on the contrary, Pontifex. No, I'm greatly in favor of the celibacy of the clergy. At least to all appearances.
To all appearances?
My dear fellow, if you and I aspire to become true clergymen, we must familiarize ourselves with the repulsive details of all kinds of sin, so that we may recognize it in all its stages.
But what are we to do?
I understand that you received a small inheritance from your grandfather a few weeks ago.
Yes, £5,000.
Oh, pity. We shall need twice that.
What for?
To establish a college of spiritual pathology, where young men may study the nature of the sins of the soul. Of course, we might make a start with your 5,000.
But if I gave up my money for such a purpose, how should I manage to go on living?
Oh, the college would pay you a salary, of course. Meanwhile, Pontifex, I could double your money for you, you know.
How?
Let me invest it for you at the stock exchange.
Oh, that seems a little rash.
Oh, nonsense, old boy. I know more about these matters than you do.
I've been thinking. There are all these thousands of souls to be saved, and I haven't saved a single one yet. Perhaps instead of founding the college, I ought to try preaching on the streets for a while.
What? Hawk Christ about the gutters? Oh, never, Pontifex. No. You give me your money, and then once the College of Spiritual Pathology is established, only then will we be on the road to saving souls.
Pryor, you're sure this venture is perfectly safe?
Safe as houses, old boy. Don't you trust me?
Yes, sir. I suppose I do.
Well, here then, take this pen and make me out a draft on your bank for £5,000.
I should think a man has to express his conviction sometime.
Oh, but of course.
Pryor, I'll do it. Here, £5,000.
Pontifex, you shall be a bishop for this. Now I must be trotting along.
Pryor, wait.
What?
These other thoughts of mine.
Oh, experience. Get experience, Pontifex.
Oh, but you said you didn't think a clergyman should marry.
I don't.
You mean that...
Precisely, my boy. Some of us must doubtless perish spiritually in such investigations. But if it be God's will that you should fall while studying what you believe most calculated to advance his glory, then you shall say, not thy will, but his be done.
Pontifex.
Yes, Mrs. Jupp?
You haven't met any of the other lodgers yet, have you?
Not yet.
Oh, well, you'll find them all very nice people, Mr. Pontifex. Very nice people indeed. Not gentlefolk like yourself, of course.
We are all alike in God's eyes, Mrs. Jupp.
You do say such nice things, Mr. Pontifex.
I wonder if you'd mind telling me, Mrs. Jupp, who is it lives directly upstairs?
Oh, that's Mr. Holt. You mustn't mind him. He gets drunk now and again and beats his missus, but he don't mean no harm.
I'm glad to hear it. If you want to know the truth, I hid under my bed last night. I expected to hear blood dripping through the ceiling.
Oh, Mr. Pontifex, you never. Now, there's some lovely people upstairs over the Holts. A Mr. and Mrs. Baxter. But, of course, they're Methodists.
That is very sad news.
Mr. Shaw now, the tinker on the ground floor, he's a free thinker.
How fortunate it is that I came here. So many souls to be saved.
Then there's the 2 back rooms on the Baxter's floor. That's Miss Snow and Miss Maitland. Single girls, Mr. Pontifex. But respectable. Believe me, perfectly respectable.
Mrs. Jupp, I see my duty clearly. I'm going to bring the word of Christ to every one of your lodgers. Oh, dear, that must be Mrs. Holt. I'm just in time.
Well?
Mr. Holt, I'm Ernest Pontifex.
You be that bloomin' clergyman,
Yes, and I'd like to talk to you.
Well, whatever you've got to say, I might have already heard it, see? So be off with you, young puppy, before I kick you down bloomin' stairs.
Mr. Shaw, I'm Ernest Pontifex.
Oh, come in, sir. Come in. You have something you want me to repair?
I hope, Mr. Shaw, to be able to repair something of yours. Your soul.
My soul? Oh, you be the clergyman old Jupp was ranting about. Well, sit down, boy, sit down. Now, what can I do for you?
As I said, Mr. Shaw, I have come to save your soul.
Oh, now, boy, you don't want to go about bothering about my old soul. How about those 2 young sweet things upstairs? They're more in a young man's line.
Mrs. Jupp assured me, sir, that Miss Snow and Miss Maitland are perfectly respectable.
No. Well, if Miss Snow's respectable, she got a pair of brothers and cousins come to see it at all hours. I don't know about Miss Maitland, but I should think those girls are all alive.
Really, sir, I have no interest in the young ladies' private lives.
So you want to know about my soul? Well, how do I know that you're qualified to look into it?
I beg your pardon?
You Oxford and Cambridge gentlemen, you think you know everything. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, feel free to do so, of course, sir.
Well, then. Now, give me the story of the resurrection of Christ as told by St. John.
St. John?
Aye, that's right. The Gospel of St. John.
I'm afraid, sir, that I might confuse the various versions.
You might. I'll wager you might. Since the Bible's confused them thoroughly already. Why, don't you know, young man, that none of them agree?
They don't? But they must agree. That's the very cornerstone of our religion.
So it is, Mr. Pontifex, so it is. And if you'll take another look at that religion of yours, you'll find that it can't stand many blows of my hammer. And now, sir, I wish you a very good morning.
Come in.
I've brought you your supper, Mr. Pontifex.
No, thank you, Mrs. Jupp. I shan't eat anything.
Why, you've got to eat, Mr. Pontifex. Just a little, there's a dear.
I'm very busy, Mrs. Jupp.
Busy? Oh, I should think you were with that big book. What might it be?
Dean Alford's notes on the resurrection.
Oh, gracious. That's too deep for me. And for you too, Mr. Pontifex. I expect that infidel Shaw's been bothering you.
Mr. Shaw and I had a very nice talk.
Oh. So nice it seems you've no appetite for your supper. Now, if you want to save somebody, why don't you go and save Miss Snow? She's a really nice girl, Mr. Pontifex, and she won't give you no trouble at all.
My dear Miss Snow,
Mr. Pontifex, why don't you put your Bible down on the table and come and sit beside me?
Why, I'd like that, Miss Snow, but, I came to talk to you about your soul.
Can't you talk about it over here?
Well, really, I think I'd better be going.
Oh, Mr. Pontifex, you don't like me.
Yes, I do, Miss Snow. Believe me, I do. In fact, to tell you the truth, I have a strong temptation.
Temptation? Well, we all have to be tempted once in a while, don't we, dearie?
Oh, do you really think so?
You do like me, don't you?
Miss Snow, you don't know anything about me, but, what I'm trying to say... Who's that?
Oh, that must be one of my brothers. Oh, hello, dearie. This is Mr. Pontifex. He came to talk to me about my soul. Isn't that sweet?
Not the place where I expect to find a clergyman.
How do you do?
How are you?
I must be going.
Right, dearie. Your Bible.
Oh, yes, thank you. Good night.
Yes? What is it, please?
Oh, Miss Maitland, let me in. Please let me in.
Well, really, sir, it's rather late.
Oh, please let me in. Don't speak.
Please, sir. Who are you? What do you want?
Oh, don't speak. Just let me put my arms around you.
Will you get out of here? I'm a respectable girl, sir.
Yes, dear Miss Maitland. Don't push me away.
Get out! Get out! Please! Help! Please! Oh, help!
Ernest Pontifex, in all my years on this bench, yours is one of the most painful cases I have ever had to deal with. You have been singularly favored in your parentage and education. You were sent to one of the best public schools in England, where you cannot possibly have found any contaminating influences. At Cambridge, you are shielded from impurity by every obstacle which virtuous and vigilant authorities could devise. The females who were admitted within the college walls were selected mainly on the score of age and ugliness. It is hard to see what more could be done for any young man than this. For the last 5 months, you have been a clergyman, and if a single impure thought had still remained within your mind, ordination should have removed it. And it has all come only this, that you have not had the common sense to be able to distinguish between a respectable girl and one who is not. In consideration, however, of the fact that this is your first offense, I shall deal leniently with you. The sentence is imprisonment for 6 months, hard labor.
From Hollywood, the NBC University Theater is bringing you Tom Conway in a radio version of Samuel Butler's The Way of All Flesh. This play is part of a series devoted to the classic novels of Anglo-American literature. If you're interested in supplementing your enjoyment of these productions with home study under college supervision, be sure to listen to the announcement at the close of this program. And now, our intermission commentator, critic, and author of the Speaking of Books column in the New York Times, Mr. J. Donald Adams. Speaking from New York, here is J. Donald Adams.
The man who at the age of 93 is still the Peck's bad boy of literature, I mean, of course, Mr. No secret of the fact that most of the ideas which he has bandied about in his plays were derived from Samuel Butler. If ever one writer was the intellectual and spiritual godfather of another, Butler was Shaw's. In his preface to Major Barbara, Shaw said this: "It drives one almost to despair of English literature when one sees so extraordinary a study of English life as Butler's The Way of All Flesh, making so little impression that when some years later I produce plays in which Butler's extraordinarily fresh, free, and future-piercing suggestions have an obvious share, I am met with nothing but vague cacklings about Ibsen and Nietzsche. Really, the English do not deserve to have great men." Whether one agrees with Shaw or not, the fact remains that they do, and people are more ready to admit now than formerly that Samuel Butler was a great writer. Arnold Bennett, who at his best was no mean novelist himself, called The Way of All Flesh one of the greatest novels of the world, and many critics would not dispute him. Certainly the book which is being dramatized for you today has more readers in our own time than it had in the years immediately following its author's death. Butler worked for 13 years on this novel, from 1872 to 1885, and it was not published until 1903. He was not primarily a novelist, but a man of ideas, which novelists, popular superstition to the contrary, frequently are not. You might call him the Aldous Huxley of his period, except that his ideas were of greater originality and force. He was an iconoclast of the first order, one of the chief puncturers of Victorian complacency. His was the first lively mind to attack that most hideous of the Victorian assumptions, the divine right of parental authority. And he was one of the foremost champions of his period of the individual's right to freedom of thought and action. You'll find in the notebooks which he kept throughout his life, they comment on the family, which contains the germ of the way of all flesh. "I believe," wrote Butler, "that more unhappiness comes from this source than from any other. I mean from the attempt to prolong family connections unduly and to make people hang together artificially who would never naturally do so."
Thank you, Mr. Adams.
The Way of All Flesh must be read. I know of no other novel that contains so many satirical but wise observations about the human comedy.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Our dramatization continues from Hollywood after a brief pause for station identification.
My godson, Ernest Pontifex, duly served out his term of imprisonment. I was able to carry to Ernest the intelligence that his parents were determined never to see him or know him further. This bit of wonderful news so cheered the young man as to make the term of his imprisonment seem light and pleasant. But on the morning of his release, he was conducted to a visiting room, where he learned to his sorrow that his parents had no intention of keeping their word.
Oh, my boy, my son, my dear, darling boy.
Mamma, Papa, Mr. Overton assured me that you would not come.
Oh, Ernest, you must know that the hearts of your dear Mamma and Papa beat with affection for you, no matter how you have pained them.
We were afraid that a false sense of shame might make you wish to avoid us.
Yes, Ernest, we determined to be at your side to support you as you entered again upon the world.
Thank you, but I require no support.
You cannot say that, Ernest, after the enormity of your offense.
Be that as it may, we must part.
Ernest!
Ernest, do not add to your sins by treating our forbearance in this unruly manner.
My imprisonment is over. You cannot compel me to remain here.
Don't speak to us in that way.
Henceforward, you must think of me as one dead. And I'm warning you that if you try to see me again, I shall protect myself in whatever way I can.
So you sent them away, Ernest?
Yes, Overton. Would it be all right if I pulled this chair a little nearer to the fire?
Of course, my boy.
A fire. It's been so long since I've seen one.
Stay as long as you like, my boy.
Oh, no. I'd like to stay with you, but I have things to do.
What things?
Well, I don't exactly know. You know, I did a lot of thinking while I was in prison. And I think I've discovered something.
Go on.
All my life I've let myself be humbugged. Humbugged by my parents and humbugged by my religion. Everything that's ever been told me has been a pack of lies. And now, you know, I've got nothing left.
On the contrary, you've got the beginning of all knowledge. Just keep hold of what you got.
Oh, I shall. I pray all the time. Lord, I say, I don't believe one word of any of it. Strengthen thou and confirm my disbelief.
Excellent, Ernest, excellent. Now, we've got any plans? You've got to live somehow, you know.
Well, I shall just get back from Prior the £5,000 I gave him for the College of Spiritual Pathology. I want no more of that.
Oh, my poor Ernest. It's not quite so easy.
What do you mean?
Your friend Prior's absconded with your money. Nowhere to be found.
What? All of it?
Every penny.
Nonetheless, I'll have none of my father's money.
Tell you the truth, I'm glad.
What, then? You don't like them either?
My dear boy, I think they're odious. I've always thought so.
Oh, how wonderful. I thought everybody but me liked my father and mother.
Allow me to confess, Ernest, I think that your whole family is horrid, with the exception of yourself. If there's one good one in every family, it's all we can expect.
Oh, I can stand anything now. You know, Overton, I've an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost everything. Money, friends, reputation. Why shouldn't I fall still lower?
What do you mean by that?
I won't try to cling to the skirts of respectability. I'm going out and earn an honest living. As a tailor, perhaps.
But why a tailor?
Oh, they had me doing it for a while in prison.
Ah.
It's the only practical thing I've ever learned. Yes, it's all settled. I shall look for employment tomorrow.
This may really be more than your father and mother can bear.
Well, what of that? I've had to run my chance with them for parents. Now they'll have to run theirs with me for a son. I thought perhaps a job. You might...
Sorry, no work. Get along with you now. I'm busy.
I've had experience, truly considerable experience.
No work here. It's a bad season for tailoring. Try Larkins down the street. He may have something.
Really, I'm a very excellent tailor, Mr. Larkins.
It's no use, young man.
But, Mr. Larkins, I've got to have work. Can't you try me?
Look here. Where'd you learn tailoring anyway?
Maybe
you learned tailoring in prison. Ain't that right?
Oh, truly, sir,
Now, come along now. Enough of this. Just get yourself right away from my door. It's time to close the shop for the night.
But listen, I've got to... What's the use?
What's wrong, dearie? Somebody treat you bad?
Oh, please leave me alone.
Well, now you needn't... Oh, Master Ernest. Oh, excuse me.
What? Why, Ellen. Ellen, wait for me.
Go away, Master Ernest, go away.
Don't shun me, Ellen. Let me talk to you.
Let me go, Master Ernest. You're too good for the likes of me.
Oh, what nonsense you talk. You haven't been in prison, have you?
Me? Why, Master Ernest, of course not.
Well, I have.
Lord, Master Ernest, I don't believe it.
6 months with hard labor. So don't talk about how good I am. Look, there's a place over the way. We can get some tripe and some beer and have a good old talk. Come on, Ellen. Please come. Go ahead, Ellen. Have another pint of beer.
But, Master Ernest, it might make me tipsy.
Oh, Ellen, you're like an angel that's suddenly come to me out of the fog. And you're so beautiful.
Gentlefolk always talk so pleasant like that.
But I'm no longer a gentleman, and I want to be something else as soon as possible.
Whatever can you mean by that?
When I was a gentleman, I learned all kinds of things I oughtn't to have learned. Now, I'm going to unlearn them.
Oh, that's too deep for me, Master
Oh,
Ernest.
no, don't say that. Ellen, when I was a child and my father and mother made you leave our home, remember?
I ain't forgotten what you done for me. I said I'd never forget, and I ain't.
When they made you leave, it was because you were a fallen woman, wasn't it?
Yes.
And now I'm fallen, too. In their eyes, at least. Ellen, will you marry me?
Oh, I couldn't do that, Master Ernest. The likes of me.
Oh, stop saying that, and stop calling me Master Ernest. Ellen, I love you, and you will fall no more.
No. Ernest, it won't do.
Oh, I beg you to meet her, Overton. She's wonderful.
Very well, Ernest.
Overton, she's my good angel. Why, she's already shown me how I can open a little tailor shop of my own. We've found a house. And now if I can raise 5 or 6 pounds for second-hand clothes, we can mend them and clean them and have a business of our own. Can't you see how wonderful it is?
Yes, Ernest, I see. And I shall lend you as much money as you need.
Then with you for a friend and Ellen for a wife, I'm the happiest man in all London. Well, Overton, what do you think of our shop?
Doesn't look much like the tumble-down place it was when you moved in. You've done wonders, Ernest.
Thanks to Ellen. She's the one who knows about these things.
We had it all painted inside and out, Mr. Overton, and then I gave it a real good scrub after the painters were gone.
And what's this? Oh, I see you've got stock in the place already.
Take another look.
Well, really, my boy.
All my old clerical clothes and my school books. I'm done with those things now. I may as well turn a shilling on them if I can.
Tomorrow we'll go to Debenham's auction rooms and have a look at what's to buy. Oh, we'll get on, Mr. Overton, me and Ernest. We're a team, we are.
Ellen, I can't believe it.
What, dear?
6 pounds and 10 shillings. Clear profit for the week.
Oh, I knew you could turn into a businessman right enough. You just needed someone to show you the way.
I owe it all to you. It was a miracle that I met you that night.
Maybe it was. But what I say is, miracles have got to be helped on a bit, now and then.
Speaking of helping, you're not to work so hard in the shop now. In your condition...
Never you mind about my condition. I can do my work as well as ever I could. And I'll wager we'll see a week when that till'll show a profit of 10 pounds.
Indeed, his little tailor shop prospered beyond his and certainly beyond my dreams. All in all, one would have said his prospects were golden indeed. And so perhaps they would have been had his success depended on himself alone. Unfortunately, this was not the case.
Ellen, I'm back. Ellen, where are you? Ellen, where are you? What's happened? What's the matter?
Ernest! You gave me such a turn. He gave me such a turn.
Me?
Yep.
Who? What's happened to you? Your hair, your face.
There was a man come in and frightened me.
Who was it? Where's he gone?
Frightened me. I got all upset. And in my condition.
Oh, heavens, I'll get the doctor right away.
No, Ernest, no doctor. I'll be all right. Just you go on out, there's a dear, and you let me rest.
Ellen, I can't understand what's the matter. Only £2 this week. Where has all the money gone?
I haven't spent it, Ernest. Truly, I haven't.
I didn't say you had. I did want to buy myself a few books this week, but I suppose they'll have to wait. Supper ready, Ellen?
Don't want any supper.
But I do.
Well, get it yourself, then. Haven't I got enough to take care of the baby?
Oh, yes, of course, my dear. Is the fire lighted?
I couldn't light it. I was too tired this afternoon. Ernest, could I have a bit of money?
I have hardly any. It seems to be going out all the time now. I can't imagine where it's going to.
Oh, Ernest, I did want to get a bit of ribbon to trim the baby's little hat. Just a bit of money, there's a dear.
Mr. Pontifex?
Yes?
I'm from the Crown and Bottle over the way. When's anybody going to settle for this £4 worth of gin?
£4 worth of gin? Oh, that's some mistake. No one here drinks gin.
Oh, don't they just? Why, Mr. Pontifex, your wife will drink anything she can stand up and pay for. What? Or get on credit. But she hasn't paid me a shilling in months. Now, if you'll just give me that £4, I'll get on my way.
Ernest's eyes were opened at last, and he saw what a horrible mistake his marriage had been. There was nothing to be done. Still, he staggered on, and at last, unbelievably, deliverance came. It was on a lovely, soft spring morning at the end of March that Ernest had sat down for a moment on a bench in the park to enjoy the sunshine, when he perceived a man in coachman's livery standing nearby and watching him intently.
Don't you remember me, Master Ernest?
Why, it's John. John, our old coachman. How are you, John?
Right well, my boy. It's good to see you again.
And you, John? Where are you now?
Oh, I've got fine place, Master Ernest, in West End. Oh, many's the time I thought of you, and how you ran cross fields to give that lass Ellen your watch and a shilling and sixpence.
Yes. That was long ago.
I was always main fond of that lass. A sweeter-tempered, handier, prettier girl than she I never knew. Nor one as knew better what a man likes and how to keep him happy. That is, if he can keep her from drinking.
You know that?
Lord love you, yes. But you can't keep her. She's that heartful. She'd get it under your very eyes without you knowing it.
John, how did you find out all this?
Why, who should know better? It wasn't a month after I left your pa's place that I married her. What's the matter with you, boy? Are you took sudden with something?
John, are you sure of what you say? Are you sure you married her?
Aye, before the registrar at Letchbury, on 15th of August, 1851.
But then you divorced her.
Not I. I were that fond of her, even with the drink. But seeing I could do nothing with her, and she was a killing of me, I left her and came up to London. And I ain't seen her since. Lord save you, boy. What is ailing of you?
John, my friend. Give me your arm. Put me into a cab and come with me to Mr. Overton's rooms at once. Think of it, Overton. And I was the man who complained that I was without hope. There never was a man as fortunate as I am.
Yes, my boy. You've been inoculated for marriage, and you've recovered.
And yet, I was fond of her, you know, until she took to drinking.
Perhaps. I think it was Tennyson who said 'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Oh, you're just an inveterate old bachelor. There's nothing to be done with you.
Well, what about you?
I'll go back to my shop.
Oh, there's no need of that.
Of course there is. I want to be able to make Ellen a little allowance and pay some kind person to take care of the child.
You might keep it yourself.
Not I, Overton. I had a father. I'll not visit that curse on another mortal. You know, a man first quarrels with his father about 3/4 of a year before he's born.
True.
It is then that he insists on setting up a separate establishment. And once that's agreed to, the more complete the separation forever, the better for both. No. Let him grow up and in the country and have pure air and no parents to plague him.
But I still wouldn't see you back in your shop, Ernest. You should live like a gentleman.
A gentleman? What's being a gentleman ever done for me, except to make me miserable? Being a gentleman won't bring me money, and only money brings peace.
Yes, something in what you say.
There's a lot in it. Therefore, let me do things for people which they'll pay me for doing.
Well, Ernest, I'm afraid that won't do after all.
And why won't it?
Like it or not, I'm afraid you're to be a gentleman and have money besides.
And how is all that to be arranged, pray?
Do you remember your Aunt Alethea?
Father's sister? Yes, indeed I do. She was very kind to me, always.
She loved you very much, Ernest.
Well, and then? She's been dead these 15 years.
Yes. And next month, you were to receive her entire fortune. £70,000, my boy.
What?
She left the money to me as trustee.
£70,000? For me?
Ernest, control yourself.
Oh, it's all right. I'm all right. Oh,
then what are you laughing at?
Overton, can you think what this is going to do to my parents? It'll drive them mad.
You can tell Ernest from me, Mr. Overton, to arrange everything just as he likes. This life never did suit me anyway. Ernest is too good for me.
Oh, come now.
What us poor girls wants, Mr. Overton, is not to be jumped up all of a sudden and made honest women of. What we want is a regular friend or two who'll keep us from starving and force us to be good for a bit together now and again.
True, madam.
And that's about as much as we can stand. Now then, as for the money, well, if he means me to have it, I suppose I'd better have it. And there's an end on it.
Ernest, my dear boy, it is good to see you again.
It's good to be back in London, Overton. I tell you, I'm all travelled out.
I should think so, from the looks of your luggage. Why, you must have stopped at every hotel between here and Japan.
Well, a man can see a lot of the world when he travels for 4 years.
Done you some good, I hope.
I've been looking at people, Overton. That's good, I think. I've been learning how they think and feel and act.
And what will you do with your knowledge?
Indulge my tastes. You know, I've been a scribbler for years. If I'm to come to the fore at all, I'll do it by writing.
My boy, you couldn't have said anything to please me more. What shall be your subject?
All the things which want saying and no one says them. All the things which want attacking and no one attacks them.
You'll be a busy man.
I intend to be. It seems to me that I can say things which not another man in England will venture. And yet they're crying to be said.
Perhaps it's because everybody else knows that they're better left unsaid.
Perhaps. But I'm bursting with them. And it's my fate to say them.
Then you'll write about...
About marriage. About families, I should say.
That's a hornet's nest indeed.
It is. But hornet's nests happen to be what I like.
People won't listen, Ernest. Think you're joking. If you're going to win any rewards, you must write like other people instead of trying to offend your readers.
They'll listen if I say it often enough. As for rewards, I don't need them. Besides, Look at Milton. He got only £5 for Paradise Lost.
If I'd been there, I'd have given him twice as much not to have written it at all.
Oh, who's trying to be shocking now? And what can it matter to me whether people read my books or no? If there's any stuff in them, it will come out by and by. I don't even know if I'll write well, Overton. What opinion can any sane man form about his own work?
What indeed?
Some people must write the stupid books. Perhaps I'll be among them.
But you're determined on this offending course?
I am indeed. If this generation won't listen to me, the next one will.
My dear Ernest, I never in my life heard of anything more impractical and imprudent.
Wait, my dear Overton. Wait.
Such is the latest development of my young friend Ernest Pontifex. I leave you to determine whether there is not even a strong family likeness between the Mr. Pontifex who insists on addressing the next generation rather than his own, and the Mr. Pontifex who once thought to found a college of spiritual pathology. He says he trusts that there is not. In politics, he has lately become a conservative. In all other respects, he is an advanced radical. His father and his grandfather could probably no more understand his state of mind than they could understand Chinese. But those of us who know him intimately do not know that we wish him greatly different from what he is.
You have been listening to The Way of All Flesh, an NBC University Theater production of the Samuel Butler novel starring Tom Conway as Ernest Pontifex. Next week at this same time, we will bring you another classic of Anglo-American literature, The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy. The present semester of the NBC University Theater is devoted to the classics of Anglo-American literature from the time of Henry Fielding to that of Henry James. If you wish, you may learn more about these authors and their works by enrolling in the college-supervised courses now being offered in connection with the NBC University Theater. The University of Tulsa in Oklahoma, Washington State College, and Kansas State Teachers College have now completed their plans for offering such a course in the coming months, thus joining the University of Louisville, whose established home study plan is already serving listeners in another area of the nation. For information, then, as to how you may enhance your knowledge through these courses, write to the NBC University Theater in care of the University of Louisville, Louisville, Kentucky, Washington State College, Pullman, Washington, the University of Tulsa, Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Kansas State Teachers College, Pittsburgh, Kansas. The Way of All Flesh was adapted for radio by Frederick Schlick and Clarence A. Ross. Our intermission commentator was Donald Adams. As Ernest Pontifex, Mr. Tom Conway, distinguished star of screen and radio. Our cast included Ramsey Hill, narrator, Crawford Kent, Guy Bellis, Doris Lloyd, John Ramsey Hill, Eric Snowden, Phyllis Morris, Alma Lawton, George Pembroke, Ben Wright, Queenie Leonard, Raymond Lawrence, Monty Margetts, and your announcer, Hal Gibney. The original music score was composed by Dr. Albert Harris and conducted by David Baskerville. The director of the NBC University Theater is Andrew C. Love. Next week, be with us again for the NBC University Theater production of the Thomas Hardy novel, The Mayor of Casterbridge, starring Reginald Gardner. Came to you from Hollywood. This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
I'm Dick Powell, taking over as Richard Diamond. Today...